There is something about Syrah that just feels right in the South Okanagan. Syrah is full-bodied, dark fruit, pepper, and a little wildness in the glass. So when Glen Niev decided to finish a single malt in freshly dumped Syrah barrels from Hester Creek, I knew I had to try it. And if you've been following along, you'll know I recently reviewed Glen Niev's Pinotage finish in a video a couple weeks ago. That one went deep into Osoyoos, the desert home of tumbleweed spirits. If you're curious about the distillery and of course the desert landscape they're working in, check that one out, I'll link it here for you. But this video, I want to shift the spotlight to Syrah and Hester Creek. But first, Tumbleweed Spirits is a small distillery in Osoyoos producing the spirit that Glen Niev bottles. They've already been turning heads, and most recently Tumbleweed, with their Walking Bird single malt, picked up a bronze medal at the 2024 Canadian Artisan Spirit Competition. While they may be young, it's recognition that shows these folks are already producing something with care. And that brings us to finishing. Across the world, wine casks are becoming the playground for creativity. We've all seen sherry import finishes, but the field has opened wide in the last decade. Basil Hayden has done red wine casks for bourbon out of Kentucky. Those lean into sort of cherries and dried fruit, charred oak. Westland, down in Washington, they put out a wine cask finish that blends Cabernet Sauvignon, Syrah, and other Washington state reds. It was even named one of Whiskey Advocate's most exciting releases of the year. I didn't get to try that one myself. And Ireland, of course, plays with it too. Green Spot, for example, finishes their pot still whiskey in Zinfandel casks. And over in Scotland, Arran, they have their interesting Amarone finish that pulls a rich Italian deep red wine into some of their whiskey. But it does make me think, does this move into wine finishing have anything to do with scarcity? Are sherry and bourbon casks less plentiful as they once were? Whatever the case, I know wine barrels add another layer to whiskey, and I love it. Fruit, spice, tannin, and a story that links the grain to a place and a vineyard. And that's exactly what's happening here. Hester Creek. Hester Creek is one of the pioneers of BC wine. Back in the late 1960s, they planted more than 80 varietals on a rocky bench near Oliver. This was long before the Okanagan became known for bold reds. Those vineyards, some of the oldest in the valley, are now the foundation of Hester Creek's estate. Their Syrah is a signature wine. It's co-fermented with a touch of Viognier for aromatics and aged 14 months in both American and French oak. In the glass, I don't have one here, but in the glass, I'm told you get ripe blackberry, pepper, clove, and even a hint of cured meat on the nose. And on the palate, big bold cherry and vanilla right along that toasted spice from the oak. But let's talk about whiskey itself. Glen Niev's Syrah release is non-colored, non-chill filtered, aged 5 years in New American oak, and then finished several months in freshly dumped Hester Creek Syrah barrels. It's bottled at 43%, only about 275 exist. So let's give it a pour. Look at that color. It's like a nice deep red. Neat. On the nose, that tumbleweed spirit comes through just like the Pinotage, biscuit and honey. But the Syrah definitely makes itself known with dark berries, something like overripe blackberries, maybe a little vinegary. But there's also a gentle spice and a bit of floral edge. Okay, it's got this richness. It's surprising given the sort of vinegary and somewhat sharp nose. The taste is completely different. Yeah, juicy dark fruit. No longer that overripe blackberry, but fresh raspberry, blackcurrant. Something like a vanilla sweetness. Yeah, and then there's this savory undertone. Something almost umami-like. It's earthy, it's salty. That oak tannin shows up too quite a bit. It's really drying. It's warm, toasted. Definitely those earthy notes, like a wet soil. The finish is medium long. It lingers with that juicy dark fruit, subtle dryness. That dryness kind of reminds me of like beer and peanuts. This is exactly why I get excited about independent bottlings. This isn't a showcase grain or technique. It's a collaboration. It is a Soyuz grain meets Oliver wine. It's a distiller and a winemaker creating something together that neither could on their own. Compared to other wine-finished whiskeys, this one feels distinctly regional. Glennieve here, they are connecting two producers right down the road from each other in the South Okanagan. It's a whiskey that tastes of place. For me, the Syrah is darker and spicier than its Pinotage expression cousin, where the Pinotage brought sort of chocolate and fig. This is pepper, berries, and a savory weight. If you're curious what wine cask finishing can bring, especially something bold and savory like a Syrah, this one is worth seeking out. Coming up soon, I'll also have their Cabernet Franc finish to check out as well. And what's your favorite wine cask finish? I'd love to know. I love wine finished whiskeys. And if you're enjoying these Canadian whiskey reviews, hit subscribe for more short pours. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.